On today's Apple Daily, Apple TV is free until July. New iPhone Pro could get a vapor chamber cooling, but what is that? And more iMac news and 2 Mac Pros? Plus Notification Squad.
For the latest Apple news, rumors, and leaks every weekday at 12 UTC. Join us in the iCave.
I'm iCave Dave, and if you want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so that you don't miss a thing. And if you do ring the bell, post hashtag Notification Squad in the comments so I can give you a shout out in the next video. Apple TV is now free until July. When Apple TV Plus was launched in November of 2019, if you bought an eligible Apple device, the service was free for a full 12 months. Then Apple extended that to the end of January 2021, which was presumed to be due to the current situation and delays in filming the second seasons of their returning shows. Now it seems to be July that will be the time that you need to pay up, suggesting there have been even more delays. This would of course be hard to believe as life has gone 100% back to normal, as I'm sure you'll all agree. My personal thought is that Apple is interested in the MGM back catalogue. There have been rumours that they were looking to buy the rights to the latest James Bond movie already, No Time to Die, and MGM holds the keys to the full back catalogue of previous James Bond films. Currently it looks like the studio would cost around $4 billion, but Apple could really use a bolstered selection for Apple TV Plus. Now we just need that shiny Apple TV box to watch all the great stuff on that we've been waiting for forever. What would be your thoughts on Apple buying and then perhaps becoming a fully fledged movie production studio? Let me know in the comments. It's not like they don't have the cash in the bank. Next iPhone Pro models could get vapor chamber cooling. But what is it? Vapor chambers are a fairly high-end cooling solution for moving heat away from high-powered processors, which makes me wonder how hard Apple is planning to push the A15 system on a chip in the 2021 iPhones. I say 2021 iPhones as it could be the iPhone 13, the iPhone 12s, or something completely different, according to the various rumours circulating online. Could we see it just being called the iPhone 2021? And speaking of circulating, it's a decent word to use as vapor chambers take advantage of liquids going through a phase change and the fact that this needs a lot more energy than just raising the temperature within the phase. And just in case you're not clear, phase changes are freezing, melting, and in this case evaporating and condensing. So in this case, the vapor chamber on the processor allows the liquid to evaporate within using heat from the SoC, then that vapor moves away, condensing and transferring energy to the more traditional heat pipes or conductive parts, like the exterior of the chassis. It's a far more efficient way to cool a processor or SoC, but if Apple thinks they will be needing it in 2021's iPhones, it suggests that they're more likely to be creating a bit more heat. Now this may be because the A15 will still be built on the 5nm process by TSMC, meaning the efficiency gains will likely be less and the clock speeds may be going up for the extra performance that's needed. Alternatively, it could be the use of more cores. Right now the A14 is a 6-core with 4 efficiency Ice Storm cores and 2 high-performance Firestorm cores on the board. So could we be looking at faster Firestorm cores, or possibly more of them, or more graphics cores? New iMacs and Mac Pro 2. So there was also some more detail to come on the redesigned iMacs at the end of last week, and a few on the future of the Mac Pro. Most of this comes via Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. First, iMac. It looks very likely that the iMac will get its redesign this year, along with the switch to Apple Silicon inside, presumably the M1X that's also expected to be in the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro redesign that we talked about on Friday. Details up here. These are expected to adopt the flat back design instead of the current curve, larger, potentially mini LED displays, or perhaps ProMotion variable refresh rates. Okay, that part about ProMotion is just wishful thinking from me, but that said, Apple has already been using variable refresh rate LCD panels for the iPad Pro line. It's OLED that they've been struggling for supplies of, and as great as the iMacs are, they are not going to be selling iPhone volumes, so this actually could be pretty feasible. Beyond that, the earlier leaks in macOS 11 Big Sur showed that the Mac support for Face ID is already there and suggests something is going to have it, and a desktop without size or weight constraints seems like a pretty great first candidate. It makes more sense in the iMac than MacBooks for a couple of reasons. First, with the iMac, users are far more likely to use a third-party keyboard, and even if they don't, adding Touch ID on a wireless keyboard would add far more cost with processing needed and a secure enclave in the keyboard itself. Keeping biometrics in the main device makes far more sense. Fingers crossed that Face ID would also bring us a great 4K camera in line with the FaceTime cameras in the iPhones too. The design itself is thought to feature smaller bezels and display sizes around 24 inches or 60 centimeters at the smaller size and 32 inches or just over 80 centimeters for the larger, up from 21.5 and 27 inches respectively, and it's thought that the lower chin on the iMac may disappear finally, though it remains to be seen if Apple will include any branding on the front of the system then. It could just be the word iMac and a little apple, just like on the MacBooks. There are also rumours that the new iMac form factor and display panel could be sold as a Mac-free option, as a display only, and the spiritual successor to the Thunderbolt display that was continued in 2016, which shared its panel with the pre-Retina 27-inch iMac models at 2640 by 1440 resolution. Presumably this would have a 5K or higher resolution, depending on what Apple goes for with the iMac, and I think there's an outside chance that it gets capacitive touchscreen too if rumours of touchscreen Macs are true and the display is expected to be more consumer oriented than for the professional XDR units. Mac Pros. Speaking of professional, and that's two segues in one video, Apple is reportedly working on two separate Mac Pro models, one which is a direct update to the current 2019 cheese grater design, and one that is said to invoke the nostalgia for the Power Mac G4 Cube due to its smaller size. Now, this is where I get slightly sceptical. The larger replacement is rumoured to still include Intel x86 processors, while the smaller unit moves to Apple Silicon. But isn't the point of the Mac Pro, or at least it was, the idea that you could upgrade it yourself? I'm confused why Apple would need to do that unless we already have new sockets that need to be included for CPUs. I honestly don't keep up with that sort of thing, and probably this is another reason why I prefer Macs. In general, never having to care. But on the subject of the smaller Apple Silicon Mac Pro, I do wonder if it could be a modular version of the Mac Mini, as mentioned in a previous video. Not where the parts are swapped out, but where a main unit is stacked on top of GPU modules in the same type of enclosure, the same with afterburner cards, storage expansion, and more. That would feel like a pretty good way to do modularity in a system where only Apple will be really making parts for the system. And also, it turns out when we're talking about invoking nostalgia for the old Power Mac G4 Cube, the Power Mac G4 Cube is exactly the same footprint as the Mac Mini. So, I don't know, maybe if you had a few of those stacked up in a nice Perspex case, I'd be down for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And a new member for the notification squad today, Aniruddha Dilly. Thank you so much for joining, and if you want a shout out like Aniruddha in our next video, please, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and leave me a comment down in the comments section with any questions that you have with hashtag iCaveAnswers, and let me know that you joined the notification squad by using that hashtag too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.